With insane new practicality and longevity, electric cargo bikes are only getting more popular. With a myriad of features and specs that each boggle the mind, how in the world are you going to sift through all of them? Well, you have found the right channel. I'm Mikey for Blue Monkey Bicycles with over 10 years experience in electric bikes, and most of that with cargo bikes of all shapes and sizes. I mean, literally, my kids have grown up with cargo bikes. After watching this video, you are going to get the right budget electric cargo bike. And if you're curious, this video is not sponsored, so you're getting the real deal. Let's go. Number 10 is the GoTrax Porter. This little guy is pretty stylish with an internal battery, and like everything else on the list, it carries all the commuter accessories, fenders, lights, and a long tail rack for rear passengers. The GoTrax has a kid rail available, which is surprising for an otherwise light-duty electric cargo bike. Now, the sale price for this bike is somehow more than the MSRP, but either way, it looks like a great entry-level electric cargo bike. Number 9 is the Mooncool CG2. Now, this long-tail e-bike is kind of behind the times, but it scored the number 9 position by not messing anything up. This bike has turn signals, which is pretty slick. The single battery is a pretty good capacity, the front end has some strength to it, and the hydraulic brakes are mounted normally. It's a tested design, pretty bland, but a killer price for this workhorse of an electric bike. If bells and whistles and fancy designs are not up your alley, then a simple beater like this could save the day. So if you're curious, the parameters for this list are pretty simple. A long tail rack that can carry at least one passenger and a price tag below 2,000 bucks. Now, adding in a dual battery and some of these models will bump up the total ticket price, and of course kid rails and seasonal pricing kind of mix things up, but nevertheless you're going to get pretty close in terms of the competitive price. Pretty much all of the bikes on this list have an entry-level set of gearing and pretty squirrely steering as well. You can get over that with some training, but that's the kind of price category that you're in right now. So let's get to number 8, which is the Pakka Genie from Blix. Now, this dual battery electric cargo bike has been around for a while, but it's still worth its salt. The main battery looks pretty slick, being color matched, and the styling is a welcome sight amongst more dross bikes that are on this list. The gearing on this bike actually isn't like the others, and it's not terrible, and Blix opted for a thinner and taller set of wheels for more technical riding, which is my personal favorite. Blix has their accessory line pretty well figured out by now, and the reviews on this bike are pretty much vetted at this point. Number 7 is the Fido T2 Longtail. Pretty utilitarian in appearance, the T2 has one big battery, making things a lot easier to charge and generally easier to live with. With 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes and solid wheels, this guy can pack up a lot, 440 pounds or so they say. The step-through frame isn't vacuous, and I anticipate that this bike will handle better than most on the list. So if you're curious, a lot of the bikes on this list are actually pretty darn similar. So if you like one, but you kind of like the styling of another, don't be afraid, because these are so similar that a lot of them could be fairly interchangeable. It was kind of rough getting towards the top of this list because I had to call out one being better than the other, but it should be clear by the time that we reach the top, so let's keep going. Number 6 is the Haoqi Camel. Rocking a set of pads, footboards, and 2 batteries for the price of 1,600 bucks. And as a throttle-powered electric bike, this is a ton of fun. And yeah, that means that pedaling is not as fun. The sleek design of the rear triangle is one of my favorites, but this bike has an interesting lesson that's baked right in. Haoqi put some extra metal between the frame sections to add rigidity, which is actually really necessary. Now, the number 5 bike is the iPass A6, what is that? A6D Volt cargo bike? I guess that's the name of the model? Well, either way, this bike is similar in equipment, but it has a larger battery and a shorter overall design. Now, while that's not necessarily good all by itself, the iPass does handle better and actually pedals better too. I know this from personal experience, having ridden both of these bikes. I actually made a video on the dirt cheap iPass bike, and you can check that out here, but to my surprise, their budget cargo bike is much higher quality than that cheapo that they are actually known for. And by golly, I have been looking at electric cargo bikes for a long time, because it's part of my day job, but I also have 2 more lists that are coming to this channel. The top 10 electric cargo bikes with no price cap whatsoever, and the top 10 mid-tier electric cargo bikes. Now, these open up a world of possibilities with certified components and some including actual strength testing, instead of just made up stats. So subscribe to the channel to get those as soon as they come out. Okay, let's go to number 4, which is the Integral Maven. Now the deals keep on coming because for $1,700 we're looking at a dual battery bike with footboards, front rack, and pannier brackets. The sloped running boards are really funny to me, I'm not sure why, but dude, look at that headlight. Also, this is the biggest battery capacity that we have seen thus far, a total of 1,512 watt hours, which is pretty darn big. They also have an entry-level dropper post that's paired with an adjustable stem. This actually makes it really easy to share this bike between 2 different riders. Now, on a side note, this list was a lot of fun to make, but it was strangely time-consuming. The world is changing, and right now I had to sift through AI-augmented product pages, which was its own minefield. I had to go through a bunch of duplicate listings on a lot of different selling sites, and of course there's the old tactic of just mislabeling products, which was harder than ever to get through. Now, since this video isn't sponsored, you can help out the channel by clicking the like button, sharing with a friend who likes e-bikes, or sending super chats through YouTube, but I've actually never done that before, so I'm not sure how it works. But anyways, let's get to number 3. Number 3 is the Letrigo Minivan SE. This bike actually looks awesome. The specs and components aren't really super killer, but for a budget electric cargo bike, it looks incredible. The frame actually has customizable LEDs on the side, which is probably made for the purpose of safety, but I'm just looking at it in terms of personalizing my own style. Even though it is a single battery electric bike, the torque sensing pedal assist, the clean build, 4-piston brakes, that's all I need to justify this beautiful bike. I said it before that being excited to ride is often more important than having all the bells and whistles, and this bike certainly does have some curb appeal. Number 2 is the Lectric Expedition 2.0. Now, it's no surprise that the company that specializes in budget e-bikes has a top budget cargo bike. The Expedition has so much going for it, man, there's a lot of customizable options. At the pre-order status that it's at right now, you score all the trimmings, 2 big batteries, kid rails, and much more for $2,000. Cute little storage compartment is easy enough to use or not use when you don't want it, and with stateside support, there is not a whole lot left to be desired. Now, like I said, this bike is in pre-order right now, so there aren't a lot of customer reviews to go off of. But since this is a new version of an existing bike, and Lectric has a really good track record, I'm not worried, should be a slam dunk. So you may be thinking, hey, you missed a few bikes on your list. You're right, a few of them I had to knock down into the honorable mention category, and they are the Haybike Hauler, the Velotric Packer 1, and the Admotor Graupro? Oh, who names these things? Anyways, all of these cargo bikes could be really great, but they have the same issue. All of them mounted the rear brake caliper so that it conflicts with the rear wheel exiting the frame. This means that to service the rear tire, you gotta pull off the brake caliper and then do the wheel. I feel like for most customers that are getting into the entry-level electric bike category, this is a hidden obstacle that they're not gonna know until it's too late. And with a direct-to-consumer bike, like most of these are, they're probably gonna try to fix it themselves. If you are one of those customers who can get over it, it's not really a big deal in reality, then these are certainly top 10 material. But because this is such a hidden thing, I really wanted to make a big point of putting that out there. The Engwe LE20. They have got to be losing money on these because Engwe is packing so much into the best bargain on the market right now. It's going for $1,800 kitted out with turn signals, kid rails, footrests, pads, front rack, and the biggest battery combo, 1,844 watt hours. That is unheard of. With solid wheels, a torque sensor, simple and easy display with a granular battery readout, oh, it's just so much. This kind of capacity can easily handle a day's work, and the price is just unbeatable. It was a tight race to the top, but Engwe eked out the competition just barely. Thank you so much for watching this video, it does mean a lot to me. When the videos are ready, I will have links to the top 10 mid-tier and high-tier cargo bikes, you can check that in the description. I've also got other top 10 videos you can check out here, or you can see some of the reviews that I do that are a little more personal. I'm Mikey for Blue Monkey Bicycles, and I will see you on the later.